Hi Calis, welcome back. Today I'm going to take you with me on my first gluten-free grocery haul here at Trader Joe's. My first one of 2021. Okay, so I was going to take you guys in and bring you shopping with me just so you can kind of like see and hear my process. However, the mood is not great here in California. There's still a lot of closures. Restaurants have not opened up. There's a line to get into Trader Joe's. Just out of respect for the other shoppers and to give them their space, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to do my gluten-free grocery trip, and then I will take you guys back to the house and take you through all my gluten-free items, a lot of staples that I get every time I go to Trader Joe's, and then also new items, new gluten-free items. Some of you know and some of you don't know, the reason I am gluten-free is because my daughter Raleigh, who's 5, was diagnosed with celiac disease about a year ago. So I have to make sure she has absolutely no gluten in her diet. We've always loved Trader Joe's, but it's really great that I can find so many gluten-free options that she really enjoys. I'm gonna head in, get all of the things that I know that I need, and hopefully find some new items to share with you guys. And then I will meet you back in my kitchen and just take you through all of my favorite gluten-free items. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell. And yeah, let's go shopping. Okay, so it is the next day because I was running kind of late, leaving Trader Joe's last night, and it was getting dark, and my daughter had a dance class. So we're just gonna do it now. Okay, for those of you interested, I do have the receipt. My total yesterday was $142.43. All right, let's start with the new items. This is the black truffle cashew pesto sauce. As far as I can tell, it is gluten-free because it does say that it contains milk, egg, cashew, and pine nut. If it had gluten, it would also say contains wheat on that disclaimer. This is obviously very different than your traditional pesto with pine nuts and basil, but it's still really flavorful and really yummy, especially if you love truffles as much as we do. This is really good on some pasta, and you can always get gluten-free pasta, you know, just to keep it completely gluten-free. And then this here, these Greek chickpeas with parsley and cumin. I have not cooked that much with chickpeas, but I recently watched someone doing a vlog, and she's vegan, and she made a meal with chickpeas, and it looks so good. And I didn't really know where to begin, but this looks like something that's kind of on that path, and it already has some seasoning. So I'm gonna experiment with this, and if I like it, I think this could be such a great staple that's like a meat alternative that's really yummy and healthy. Okay, so these are new. This was in the new section. It's Partake. It's crunchy sprinkle cookies. If you look here, you can see all the things they don't have. They don't have nuts, eggs, wheat, dairy, soy, fish, shellfish, mustard, sesame, sulfite. So many things that cause people trouble. And I'm so sorry to say they were awful. They really didn't taste good. In fact, they tasted so bad that we're gonna return them. It was kind of like, I mean, at one point I'm like, are these dog biscuits? Like, it was that off. So unfortunately, these were a no-go for us, so we are gonna return them. And Trader Joe's is pretty good about that. If you try something for the first time and you're like, I've tried it, I don't like it at all, they're pretty good about returning stuff. Just keep that in mind when you're trying new items. You can always, they have a pretty good return policy. So now these are a new item, and I actually posted a picture of these on my Instagram because we are so excited about this. It's JoJo's, and they're chocolate vanilla cream cookies, otherwise known popular Oreo cookies. Oreo cookies have gluten, and that is one of 2 things that my daughter misses most. Actually 3. She misses having Oreo cookies, McDonald's chicken nuggets, and she misses Doritos. We haven't been able to find graham crackers, Oreos, or Doritos that are completely gluten-free until these. Now, she did get a little bit of a tummy ache, and I don't know if it was a coincidence. So it says it's completely gluten-free, and there's no wheat disclaimer. Here it says, you know, contains egg and soy, may contain milk and tree nuts and coconut. It doesn't say anything about even trace amounts of wheat. However, sometimes I think things are labeled incorrectly, especially if it's a new item. So we are going to keep trying these. And if she continues to have a tummy ache, it could be they have wheat. But so far, we're so excited to find these gluten-free Oreo type cookies. It's just, this was a big celebration in our household. And you guys, they're really good. They taste really, really good. They almost taste exactly like the gluten Oreo cookies. They're a little bit lighter and flakier, but they're still super yummy. Okay, so that's it for the new items I got on this trip. Also, I wanted to share this with you while we're talking about cookies. These are the coconut crispy rolls, wafer cookies. I love the packaging, how fun and tropical. And also, they're really yummy. They are gluten-free. They're made with tapioca starch, and they do have some allergens, but no wheat. So they do have egg, coconut, and they may contain traces of milk and almond. These are so yummy. And so if you're gluten-free like us, these are a really fun treat. Everybody loves these. They're light, they're coconutty, they have that little hint of sesame. They're really, really good. Highly recommend these. They were out of the gluten-free raisin bread. That is my daughter Raleigh's favorite. I always get 1 or 2 loaves. So we're gonna go back today because Trader Joe's employees are so helpful, and they went and checked in the back, and then they told me we're expecting a shipment today. That was really the only gluten-free bakery item that I was interested in during this trip. Sometimes I get the bagels, but we still have bagels from a previous trip. So I didn't get any baked goods, except I did get these. These are a lifesaver. If we go to like a birthday party and there's pizza and cupcakes or cake, I can run to Trader Joe's, get her some really yummy chocolate gluten-free cupcakes with the white cream on top, buttercream frosting. And this is really great because then when all the other kids are eating cake, I can give one of these to my kids. So this is just so great. It saves me a lot of time because baking gluten-free from scratch takes time. It's a lot of work. So this is a lifesaver. Raleigh doesn't know that I got these, so she's gonna be really surprised. I just thought, I'm gonna treat her with something really fun, and they're completely free of gluten. The next thing is this cold brew black tea concentrate. I have never tried this before, but it just seemed really fun. I actually really like making iced tea. I'll steep the bags and the ice and do all the work. But if this tastes good, I am all in. We also have some, like a thing of simple syrup that I need to go through. I'm newly into tiki for any of you that are following what's going on my channel. And so I have been trying to make like a Mai Tai for the first time. And so I do have some simple syrup in the fridge. So I think this with water and some simple syrup could be super yummy. And I'm excited to try it. Coffee filters. Coffee is something that is kind of a must. It's not kind of a must, it is a must every morning, and we get our coffee filters at Trader Joe's. Okay, 1 bag down. The next bag is going to be dried fruit, and I did get a bag of nuts. I love the dried fruit section in Trader Joe's. It's such a great on-the-go snack, gluten-free, healthy but sugary. The kids like it. So I'm a big fan of their dried fruit and nut section. I have to make sure I only get 2 or 3 items because I will go to town in this section of Trader Joe's. I'll start with the nuts. These Marcona truffled almonds are so good. We get them quite often. They're a little pricey, but they're really worth it. I'm sure I've shared these in previous gluten-free grocery hauls that I've done. And yeah, they're just really good. If you haven't tried them, treat yourself and give these a try. These dried cranberries, Raleigh loves these. They're really just like such a yummy, sweet snack that are gluten-free, especially if she has a low. So she also has type 1 diabetes. So I'm often trying to find healthy ways to treat low blood sugar, and little fruit snacks like this are great. Dried mango, I got 2. They're one of Raleigh's favorites. I'll give her 2 of these. It's about 14 carbs, perfect low treat. I've been getting these for years. I get them every time. These are really good. These coconut strips, we love these. I actually put them in the fridge because it keeps them fresh and cool, and yeah. So they're pretty sweet, but they are really yummy, and again, they're pretty healthy. And when I say healthy, I get that obviously there's healthier alternatives, like your kids could snack on carrots and broccoli. My kids are pretty picky eaters, so that would be a dream if they would snack on vegetables, but they just don't. So these I prefer. When I say pretty healthy, these are better than say like fruit snacks or fruit strips. So I'd rather them have like dried fruit. They still eat the fruit snacks, they eat the cookies, don't get me wrong, but they're handy to have around as an alternative to those more sugary treats. I don't know if I've ever gotten these. They're just the sweet apple rings. I think these will be really great because Raleigh does like the apple rings. I don't know if you guys know about these, but they have them at Disneyland Resort. They have them in like a little bag, and then there's like 5 packs in there, and that's the only time she's ever really eaten dried apples. And these to me look like a really similar texture to those Disneyland apples, so I'm hoping that if I like tell her it's like the apples at Disneyland, she'll try these. Apples are so healthy, they have fiber, and yeah, it's just like a really great little snack throughout the day. Okay, 2 bags down, 2 to go, but before I continue, I just want to share with you guys, when I first walked in, I did see some plants and flowers. I love Trader Joe's floral department. I wanted to get some flowers for our kitchen table, but we don't have any vases right now. We moved, it was actually 3 months ago, but I haven't replaced the vases that I guess I got rid of. I probably gave them away. So I got this because it is so cute in this little white simple pot. It's the perfect dimensions for our round kitchen table. It's a money plant. It's a type of succulent. I'm going with it, and it has to thrive this year in 2021. I also got some mint for my Mai Tai exploration. I am trying to make a Mai Tai for the first time. I've done it twice. My second attempt was so much better than my first attempt, so I'm headed in the right direction. And my first time I didn't have mint, so I did hold lime and the mint sprig to make it look like a little island motif. Yeah, this is my mint. I got veggie sticks. Honestly, this is a pretty big bag, and my kids will be into it if I haven't fed it to them for a while, but I find like we almost never finish a bag because they very quickly tire of this snack. But I thought, you know, it's been a few months, so let's just put it back in the rotation and see what happens. If they're hungry enough, picky eaters will snack on this. And it says veggie in the title, so it's a gateway to veggies. And that, my friends, is Mom Logic. This is a staple. I get at least 1 box every trip if they have it in stock. It's the gluten-free cornbread mix. It tastes really good. It's great around the winter and the holidays as a gluten-free alternative for anyone in your family that's completely gluten-free. And my kids don't love the corn chunks, but if they're hungry and they're in the mood for cornbread, they'll still eat it. So that's a win. And I love it, and Jessie likes it. So it's rare that I find something that we all like that's gluten-free. So this is a good one for sure to have in your pantry. These I found late 2020 at Trader Joe's. So I don't know if at the time, I think it was like fall 2020. I don't know if it was a new item, but it's new-ish to us. And they're this coconut brings chocolate on a date bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. 5 ingredients, and they all are completely natural, no chemicals. So I love this product, and I got 2, and she's already eaten 2 of these in the last 12 hours. This I actually did not get on this trip. I just threw it in there because I wanted to share it with you. It's the gluten-free rice pasta and cheddar. So it's basically mac and cheese, but it has gluten-free noodles. This is not my favorite gluten-free mac and cheese that is out there, but it is one of the more affordable ones. So we always grab 1 or 2 just because the sauce, the consistency of the sauce can be a little clumpy and runny, but it's good. I eat it and she'll eat it. So I buy it. Okay, these I also did not buy on this trip. I already had them in my pantry, but I want to share them with you. I love granola. My kids still are not adventurous enough to eat granola, but I love granola, and I love this ginger turmeric granola. I love the kick of ginger and turmeric. It's just a fun way to start my day. I know it sounds weird, but food can be fun. And this also, I didn't buy this trip because I have some, but it's the Trader Joe's organic toasted coconut granola, and it is also really yummy and sweet. And I'm just so happy that they have gluten-free granola because a lot of granola does have gluten. And so for me, trying to eat completely gluten-free with my daughter, and I love granola, so I was so happy that they have granola cereal in stock. Now, you might be like, well, why do you eat gluten-free if it's your daughter that needs to be gluten-free? So technically, I could still eat the granola that has gluten, but the reason I go gluten-free is because there's gonna be a day where my daughter says, I want to try your cereal, and I want to be able to go, yes, yeah, try my granola. It's really good. And so because part of my parenting philosophy when it comes to food is leading by example, I want to make sure all of these flavorful, fun things that I'm eating that my kids are not yet adventurous enough to eat, the one day that they finally say, hey mom, that smells kind of good, can I try it? I'm hungry. I can just say yes, and I don't have to say, oh, wait, I have to go to the store and make a gluten-free version for you. I don't want her to feel limited. So she was diagnosed with type 1 at 2, and then she was diagnosed with celiac disease right around her 4th birthday. So she has been incredibly limited at a really young age, and I just don't want her to feel any more limitation than she has to. So I want to make sure I have a lot of food in the kitchen that if she just gets curious and she's like, I want that pasta, or, you know, I could just be like, sure, have a bite. So that's my reason for being more gluten-free alongside her. I love chia seeds. They're so healthy. It's such an easy thing. I throw it into my daughter's smoothies. There is this really simple cleansing drink that I do, which is water. I think it's like 2 or 3 teaspoons of chia seeds and lemon juice from a lemon. You guys, you let it sit in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes. The chia seeds, they expand. It sounds so simple and boring, but I kid you not, it is such a yummy drink and it's so good for you. It's such a cleansing, refreshing. The chia seeds take on a whole new texture when they like absorb the water and the lemon. They get kind of soft. It's almost like boba-ish texture if you've ever had boba. I love this drink. So I'll probably share it on Instagram. I've been meaning to share it for months now, but I'm getting low on chia seeds, and when I saw that Trader Joe's had chia seeds, I grabbed them. So I love chia seeds. The bag lasts forever. So if you're like, oh, they're kind of pricey, the bag will last you like 6 months. I mean, it depends on how fast you're using it, but you can just throw it into so many things, and they're high in protein and fiber, and they're just chia seeds. Sneak those into the smoothies. The last bag I have here, it's more like staples that you might need for certain meal planning. So the meals that I was planning when I was making this trip is I want to make some chili. I love chili. Usually I make like a big pot of it and then freeze it. But I've never bought all of my chili ingredients at Trader Joe's, so I decided, you know what, I'll buy enough for one, I'm not going to double it. I'm just going to do one pot, one small pot. It'll be like one dinner for Jesse and me, because again, even though it's gluten-free, the kids have yet to try my chili, which is such a mistake on their part because it is so good. So for the chili, I got some diced and fire roasted tomatoes, some tomato sauce, and some tomato paste. This time of year, it's chilly. I love in the fall and winter doing soups. So this is so easy. You just throw it, in the pot, you heat it up. I usually like it with like a little more pepper and Tabasco sauce. Maybe I'll do a dollop of sour cream. It's really good and super easy. So if I'm wanting soup, but I don't want to be chopping and doing all of that for a while, I will just throw this in the pot and I'll have soup in 5 minutes. Our Trader Joe's here in Palm Springs discontinued the olive oil that I love to cook with. I'm going to show it to you really quick. I happen to have an empty bottle of it. So for a long time now, I have been cooking with this olive oil, and for whatever reason, they've stopped carrying it. The other olive oil they carry in stock is the extra virgin olive oil, and it's not great for cooking. So it's really good for salads, but your stuff can burn really easily or smoke. So this has a higher smoking point. So I loved cooking with this, and they don't carry it anymore. So I believe what they replaced it with is this avocado oil. So my dad has been telling me about avocado oil for a long time now. He and my stepmom cook with it and they swear by it. It has a really high smoking point. It's 500 degrees. So I am going to try it, and Jesse and I, our only concern is, will it taste different? Will it make our foods taste different than what we're accustomed to with olive oil? But I think because it's so popular, in fact, I know because I talked to one of the employees and they said, we've been getting so many requests for the avocado spray oil that we replaced the olive oil, the cooking olive oil, with the avocado oil. So the reason I didn't get the spray is because I just feel like I don't need a spray. I get that people like it for convenience, but it's really easy to use some olive oil and then just brush it onto your pots and pans. So I'm gonna give this a try. If I am able to, I will let you guys know. I will let you know how I like it, but it's supposed to be healthy and it has a really high smoking point. So it should be great for everything. So I'm excited to cook with this. Another meal that's really easy, and unfortunately it is not 100% gluten-free, is Jesse and I like eating spaghetti and meatballs. The kids don't eat it, so we can have it. The meatballs at Trader Joe's unfortunately do have gluten. I haven't seen a gluten-free meatball yet, so if I find one, I will let you know. But what you could do is you could have gluten-free pasta, and then I just like this simple roasted garlic marinara. What I often do is I'll chop up fresh garlic and roast that in the bottom of the pot for a few minutes before I put, or even carrots. You can like put some oil in the bottom of your pot and cook up some carrots and some garlic, and it adds a lot of flavor and it's super easy. And then you just heat this up and then you heat your meatballs in it, and it's really yummy. So it's just like such an easy meal. I mean, I don't think it takes more than 20 minutes to a half hour, and it's just like one of those meals you can do without thinking. So I always have like frozen meatballs in the fridge, and that's just like an easy thing for Jesse and I really are the only ones eating, I feel, in this household. And then like my kids, like they're kind of like snacking through life. So hopefully that changes at some point. But so yeah, this meal I usually try to keep in stock. Another meal that we usually keep in stock, but I did not for this particular trip, is we really like, they have gluten-free fish. They're the gluten-free fish sticks, and they're cod, right, Jesse? Halibut. That they have gluten-free halibut fish sticks. They are good. My kids again smell fish and they're like, ooh, no. But if you're gluten-free, go find this item. It's pretty new. You found it recently, like in the last couple months we found it, and it's so good. And then I do that with their frozen peas, which they didn't have this trip. They were completely out of the peas that we like to do. And you guys, I have an amazing frozen pea recipe. So if you are interested in that recipe, just put a comment and I'll try to make a cooking video, because this, basically, you've been doing frozen peas wrong your whole life. Like, this recipe I found online is so good, and now like we enjoy frozen peas. So yeah, if you're interested in that, like put a comment and I'll try to make a video about it. And then I got some potatoes. I don't usually get potatoes because I feel like they go bad before I cook them, because Jesse's not really into potatoes, and then I'm just making them for me. But it's such an obvious gluten-free food, so you can bake them, you can fry them, you can chop them up and put them in your soups. So I'm committed to trying to get at least like a baked potato smell in the house on a regular basis, because at some point Raleigh or Declan might be like, what is that? It's like the perfect kid food. It's white, you can smother it in butter, but I think because I never cooked potatoes, they haven't really been exposed to them. So I'm trying to introduce potatoes to our kitchen just because they're gluten-free and they're so easy, and they too take a while to cook, but if you're in a pinch, you could always microwave them. So just kind of an obvious food I haven't done, so I'm trying to change it up a bit, you know? The jasmine rice. If you're a fan of Trader Joe's, you know about the jasmine rice. It is far and beyond the best rice out there. I haven't found a parallel. It's so good. I mean, maybe if you go to a Japanese market, you might find something that is comparable, but this is so good. And it's especially, I think I realized how popular it was during quarantine, because you could find all of the other rices, but you couldn't find the jasmine rice. So I'm very low on rice right now, so I got the jasmine rice. Also, there are gluten-free chicken. In fact, I have them in the fridge. I'll just go ahead and share them with you now, because I'm about to go to the fridge anyway. This is not a new item, and we already had it in the freezer from previous Trader Joe's trips, 2020 trip. This is the chicken breast nuggets, and they are gluten-free, and you guys, they're pretty good. They're white meat. Again, my daughter and my son are like, but Jesse and I eat them, and I like putting them over the rice, and I'll chop up a hard-boiled egg, and then I'll drizzle sesame oil over it and like sprinkle on some smoked salt. It's so good. It's just such a simple, basic meal that'll fill you up. So these are great, and they're gluten-free. So I just wanted to mention those. If you heard Jesse groaning in the background, some of you know, some of you don't know, he hates eggs. I love eggs. They're just so delicious. And they're so versatile. He hates eggs, so we have a difference of opinion. And hates, like literally as I was talking about it, I knew he was gonna groan, and he groaned. So I don't know if you could hear him, but that's what's happening off camera. Now I'm gonna move to the refrigerator and then the freezer. I know I kind of cheated. This is a freezer item, but it's the order I wanna go in, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, refrigerator items. Every trip to Trader Joe's, I get this low-fat yogurt. It is kind of sugary, it's vanilla flavor, but my kids love it. So it's just like something they have on a regular basis. And you know, as many of you know, yogurt is so healthy for you. It's so good for your gut. So I'm happy, even if it's a little sugary, that they're eating yogurt on a regular basis. Let's rewind and go back to the chili. So the refrigerator items I got is I did get this, how do you pronounce it? Mirepoix. I did get this mirepoix, and you know, I think it was one Thanksgiving that it occurred to me that I could just buy these and save a lot of time when it comes to chopping. Look, you're gonna pay a little bit more and it's not gonna maybe be as fresh, but if you're making a stew or a soup, or in my case, chili, this really, when you're making a soup or a chili, the thing that takes the longest is all the chopping. Once you throw it in the pot, it just does its own thing for a while, and you just stir it. And mirepoix. Isn't that what I said? Oh, mirepoix. Okay, so clearly I'm a California girl that cannot speak French. Okay, so usually most soups and stews call for carrots, onions, and celery. So this is great. It's a little low on the onions. I might add onion, but saves a lot of time. And then also I got this. We like fat. It's yummy. So I got the 80-20 ground beef for my chili. Jesse doesn't like beans, so I do an all beef chili. It's really good, and if you want to make it healthier, you can always use turkey, and you can add beans if you like them. Garlic, it's important, and I don't usually keep it in the fridge, and this is kind of disgusting for a gluten haul, but we've got rats. I don't really want to talk about it because I want to focus on the groceries, but I can't leave anything out. You guys, I left the mint way up high on a ledge last night, and somehow the rat got to the mint. So we're calling an exterminator today. It's really disgusting, but we live in the desert and we're on the ground floor and we have food. So there's rodents. New to us, maybe I'll make a video about it, but the garlic for now is in the fridge. Fresh fruit, I got some grapes, I got some strawberries. I also got some bananas, but the rats really love bananas, so they're frozen in the freezer. We'll get to those. I also got some broccolini. They didn't really have broccoli that looked fresh in stock. I don't really like the bagged broccoli, so I went for the broccolini, and it looks gorgeous. We could saute it, or Jesse could barbecue it. He is really good on the barbecue, and in fact, I usually get salmon, but the salmon did not look that great yesterday, so I got the pork chops. They looked really good, and they were really good, so they're not here. We did barbecue, he barbecued last night, and we enjoyed those pork chops. So that got eaten. I also got this fresh basil and mozzarella and tomatoes. I got the Komodo tomatoes, if you're familiar with them. They're really yummy. They kind of have like a brownish color to them, and we made a caprese salad. I take the tomatoes, I sprinkle them with garlic salt, and then I put a basil leaf on every tomato, and then I put mozzarella on top of the leaf, and then I top it with pepper, olive oil, and then I really love the Trader Joe's balsamic vinegar, so I do that, and Jesse just does olive oil. That's how he prefers it. So I just want to share that with you guys. If you're wondering, like, well, how do you do your caprese? I prefer the big ball of mozzarella. Those slices fit better, especially on the Komodo tomatoes, but they don't have it anymore. I don't know, Trader Joe's stopped carrying it, and now they just have the small little tiny balls of mozzarella, so I just cut those up and use those. It's not as attractive, but it still tastes really good. Let's go into the freezer, and then we're done. We can wrap this up. And yeah, if you guys like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I usually do that at the end, but just in case I'm losing people at this point, I don't know. I did have to freeze the bananas. I use them in smoothies. They make great smoothies. So instead of ice, you use a frozen banana, and it gives it really nice frozen smoothie texture, very smooth. And then those are the, I guess I didn't really get many freezer items, but I wanted to show you that in previous trips, we do stock up on these gluten-free toaster waffles. Are really yummy. And I also wanted to show you guys, so I made a big batch of split pea soup the other night, and this is how I do it, and then I put it in like meal size. Like, this is enough for Jesse and I for a dinner. The kids still are not adventurous enough for split pea soup, but we love it. It's so yummy. So I'll just freeze them in containers, and then I usually put like one in the fridge, but these will last for like up to 3 months, and in the fridge it's just a few days. So I just divide it all up. That way I don't have to do you know how you do it. You just do it in advance and you don't have to do a lot of cooking per meal. Oh, these are good too. This is also a gluten-free Trader Joe's item that we love. These potato tots are so good. They're great with some bacon for breakfast, very yummy. We even do them for dinner sometimes, they're so good. And I will put garlic powder and salt. I swear by garlic powder when I'm roasting things in the oven. It makes everything taste better, so garlic powder on your tater tots. Okay, you guys, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, definitely give it a thumbs up, and I'll bring you more gluten-free grocery hauls and content. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so I can bring you more content like this or my Super Cali adventures. I love going to theme parks or different attractions here in California and taking you guys with us. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.